Allentown, Pennsylvania is a proud and resilient city in the east central section of the state. The heart of Allentown is marked with a war monument. Its neighbor to the east is Bethlehem, and like Allentown, this city has maintained a complementary blend of old and artistic architecture with functional and modern structure. This area is known as the Lehigh Valley. Mack Trucks, Air Products and Chemical, and numerous other industries are headquartered here. But perhaps the best-known industry of the Lehigh Valley is the steel industry. And while the steel business has fallen on hard times, Allentowners have not. Instead of focusing on the crumbling decay of Bethlehem steel, the attention here is on the positive. On a clear day, you can see the Pocono Mountains. A drive to New York is less than 2 hours. Philadelphia, even closer. But if the weather isn't cooperating, attention is usually directed towards Lehigh University's Stabler Arena, a facility built in 1979 that accommodates all kinds of events, from graduations to rock concerts, from tractor pulls to auto shows. Today, it is an international haven for Olympic hopefuls in the explosive sport of artistic gymnastics. When Allentowners look inside Stabler Arena tonight, they'll see Phoebe Mills, winner of the '88 McDonald's American Cup. Mills is coached by Bella Caroli, who has produced such greats as Nadia Comaneci and Mary Lou Retton. Phoebe Mills, America's Olympic hopeful. On the men's side, it will be Scott Johnson wowing the crowd. This 1984 Olympic gold medalist is focusing on the '88 games. At the Pan Am Games last year, he was first all around. And 23-year-old Dan Hayden will be muscling his way into the Seoul Olympics. Hayden has overcome severe injuries and is performing with a vengeance. At the '87 World Championships in Rotterdam, Hayden was the top American performer. The road to Seoul is paved with competition, and tonight it's in Stabler Arena. ESPN and the United States Gymnastics Federation present International Gymnastics. From the Stabler Arena in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, it's the McDonald's International Mixed Pairs. This event is brought to you by McDonald's. It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Stabler Arena, where we have a capacity crowd on hand to watch this mixed pairs event. I'm Leandra Riley, and what we have in store for you is something unique in gymnastics. Instead of men and women competing in spite of each other, they will have to compete with each other. The gymnasts have been paired off. There are 19 pairs. The combined men's and women's score of each pair will advance them to the second round. But we'll elaborate more on the scoring later on. Right now, let me introduce you to one of our two expert analysts. She's a 1984 Olympian. In fact, she won a medal there, but you also competed in the mixed pairs competition. But actually, I'm going to pull on your expertise in the international realm. Just 48 hours ago, you were at the American Cup. How do the gymnasts look from the international world, specifically Romanians, Russians, East Germans, etc.? Who's the best?
Well, Leandra, two teams expected to be top competition here are not surprisingly the Soviets and the Romanians. For the Romanians, we have Marius Toba, who just won the American Cup 2 days ago, and his partner, Gabriela Podorak, who's an excellent gymnast. She was the alternate for the World Championship gold medal winning team in Rotterdam. And the Soviets, in typical fashion, are superb. And if they're consistent tonight, they could possibly be the ones to contend with. Both Svetlana Baitova and Igor Korobchinsky were second at the American Cup and are potentially flawless. So I'm sure they're looking to win this competition.
That's true, potentially flawless, but they did have some mistakes at the American Cup, so they're not a shoo-in for this mixed pairs gold medal.
No, they're not a shoo-in, but I have a feeling they won't have as many mistakes.
All right, now let's talk about the American side. And for that, I'm going to bring in our other expert analyst, a gold medalist from the '84 games. And you, too, are a former mixed pairs competitor, Peter Vidmar. And Peter, of the Americans, who are the strongest that we should watch for?
Well, we have 6 pairs, but only 2 can move into the next round, and only 1 can move into the final round. So we kind of have a competition within a competition for the Americans. That's kind of tough. Phoebe Mills is coming off her spectacular American Cup victory, and she's paired up with Kevin Davis. They'll be a tough team to beat. Now, last year, Phoebe won this event with her teammate, Scott Johnson. But this year, Scott's teamed up with Brandy Johnson. No relation. Brandy's very powerful, and she's starting out on one of her best events, the vault. And so they could move into round 2 as well. Another team that has a very strong chance is Dan Hayden and newcomer Shelley Stack. Dan is going to start out on the horizontal bar where he does this spectacular release trick, and I'm really looking forward to that to start off the meet.
Okay, once again, to reiterate, the defending champions are here, but they actually are split up. We might have co-champions this year. Who knows what will happen in mixed pairs competition? Stay tuned to find out.
See, Dennis, I know I've missed dinner 3 nights in a row, but winning this case could get me a partnership in the firm. You'll have to eat without me. Adios.
Is this the law firm of Newland, Andrews, and Martinez?
Teresa.
I figured you could use a McDonald's break.
I do love you, you know.
Is that the truth and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Then case closed.
Hold Subi honey up to the light, and you see nothing but pure, natural U.S. grade A clover honey. Light, golden, as nutritious as honey can be. And it's filtered for consistent quality. Maybe your family won't know that when they enjoy the natural sweetness of Subi honey. But you'll know. Subi honey. Purity you can see and taste.
Briefly will work for one day, married to the gymnasts. The male gymnast from Romania, his score will be combined with the female gymnast from Romania, and the same will hold true for the Soviet Union, the United States, etc. Their combined scores will advance them to the second round. There are 19 pairs in the first round. Only 8 will make it to the second round, and only 3 will make it to the final round. The gymnasts are allowed to choose which apparatus they would like to compete on. So you may see all 10 events, then again, you might not. For women, if they elect to vault, they must do so in the first round. And competing first for us will be the combination from Romania, Gabriela Potorac and Marios Toba. The women will perform first, and Gabriela Potorac has elected to vault.
Now, during this competition, you're going to see what has typically not been a normal vault. It's called a Yurchenko, and it's a round-off vault onto the board and then go backwards onto the horse like a giant back handspring. The girls have become very consistent on this vault and are doing amazing things on the afterglow.
Gabriela Potorac is from Bacău, Romania. She is 5 feet 1/2 inches tall, 15 years of age, and weighs just 70 pounds.
Round-off approach. Nice vault. To Yurchenko, layout full twist. And she has a little bit of pike in the somersault, which is definitely a deduction. Small step on the landing.
Octavian Belu is her coach, the man who is escorting her back to the area where she begins her runway. Potorac, being a female gymnast, is allowed to do 2 vaults. In men's vaulting competition, they do only 1 vault.
I can see by the number she's posted, she'll be doing the same vault, which is allowed in this competition.
And in others, it is not. They must do a different family of vaults.
In event finals, they have to do 2 different vaults.
Now, again, in this event, we should elaborate also that it is the better score that counts. So you actually get 2 chances in this particular apparatus. But I think that is only appropriate because it happens so quickly.
The men never thought it was fair. They have to do 1 vault, and 1 vault counts.
I never thought it was fair.
That's the voice of Peter Vidmar protesting. Our Romanian gymnast who competed at the Goodwill Games in 1986, Potorac finished 4th in the all-around event. Capacity here at the Stabler Arena is over 4,000, and we have exceeded that tonight. They love their gymnastics, and I think the Parkettes Club is a big reason why they're right here in Allentown. Gabriela Potorac, second vault.
Actually, a much better vault. Did you notice she lands a little close into the horse? That's also a deduction. Now you can see how well you have to judge the distance here. Get right back on the horse, lift off, that's the layout with full twist, and a much better landing this time.
Gabriela Potorac has completed her vaulting competition, and that is her partner from Romania, Marios Toba, on the still rings.
Toba is the American Cup all-around champion. He kind of really broke the dominance by American gymnasts and Soviet gymnasts. So this is a real first for Romania, a strong male gymnast.
There's competition.
Touch over front. That's called a Yamawaki, done by a gymnast named Yamawaki back in 1984 at the Olympic Games. Iron cross. A little short. He should have held that a little bit longer. Press the handstand. Now he's going to set up for his dismount. Giant. Double layout. Very good landing. That's a very common dismount. Most of the gymnastics rings dismount with double layout because they get that superior difficulty, but it really isn't the most difficult dismount.
Marios Toba, 20 years of age, 121 pounds.
Now this is the dismount. It's called a double layout. It's a double back flip with your body straight. Very good. He lands it very well, and it's really not as difficult as some of the other dismounts.
And again, his score will be combined with Gabriela Potorok.
This is the better of her two vaults. Again, the round off onto the board. Excellent push off the horse. A little short on distance, but a good landing.
And that good landing was worth a score of 9.725. But that is only half the story as we look now at little Brandy Johnson. She is waiting to vault. She is part of our second pair, as Jan Clare, our public address announcer, likes to call them, the Band-Aid twins, Johnson and Johnson. You were part of that when you competed with Scott Johnson.
Wait, I was the original Band-Aid twin.
I guess you lost your glue. You didn't stick around, and now it's little Brandy Johnson trying to fill your shoes. Again, we are waiting for Marios Toba's score for the Still Rings event to be added to the 9.725 that Gabriela Potorok received. And he received a 9.80. His total, 19.525. 19.525. That is the score for Romania. Remember, 20 would be perfect. So a slight smile on the face of Potorok. But again, we'll have to see how the rest of the competition fares. It's sometimes a tough draw to be the first one of an event.
And there may be more official scores coming up a bit later.
Again, we will return to the vaulting, where Brandy Johnson has also elected to compete in the vaulting event. Brandy Johnson now competes for Brown's Gymnastics. She is 14 years of age, is 4 feet 11 inches tall, originally from Altamont Springs, Florida.
Brandy's chosen to do the same vault that Gabriela did. It'll be a good comparison. Watch the difference in distance from the horse. Nice position. She gets much more distance from the horse. It's just a more dynamic vault.
There's competition. This is Chameleon.
Runs in good control. Great lift off the horse. And as you can see, a straighter body position.
Now, her vault seems much higher to me.
It was much higher and much farther from the horse. Overall, it was just a bigger vault.
The step back, will that penalize her a lot?
Obviously, that's something she doesn't want to do on this vault.
At the 1987 Shinichi Cup, Brandy finished 12th in the all-around. At the McDonald's Championships of the USA, she was first all-around in the junior division. So she's just recently moving up to the senior division.
She's looking for a good landing here. Oh, just about had a little stumble step right there.
Now, I'm going to have you focus on her hand placement on the horse. To me, it looked maybe a little short, but you tell me, you're the expert.
One thing about the way Brandy does this vault, she has more room for error. Not really short, maybe a tad short on the front end of the horse. But the main deduction was the step.
So you would categorize the first vault as being the better vault?
About tit for tat, actually.
All right, now we're looking at the other half of Johnson & Johnson. This is Scott Johnson, 1984 Olympic gold medalist, and he stuck around, Peter Vidmar. You retired to the broadcast booth.
Yeah, he sure did, and he's got reason to. Look at his gymnastics performance here in the rings. I think if Scott had to pick one event that he had to do in gymnastics, if he only had one event to do, he'd pick this event, the rings. He's so powerful. Look at that. Back kick right to a Maltese cross, into an iron cross. Kip to an L. I'm really impressed with the second half of Scott's routine. He's so powerful at the end. Most of us are kind of sucking up wind, and we're trying to get enough energy to finish off that routine at the end. And Scott seems to have just as much power at the very end as he does at the beginning. There's a giant swing. Giant right to a handstand. Now, he got a little bit off there. He overshot the giant. He did like one extra swing. And that can be a deduction. Back up rise to a handstand. Here's his dismount. Pike half and half out. Took a step at the end. That's a deduction as well. Probably won't be as high a score as Toba.